Hi everyone, I'm here with Wonjun, and he is an Adobe Design Achievement Award winner this year, and so we're just going to walk through some of his work. Do you want to introduce yourself and maybe say where you're from and a little bit about yourself?
My name is Wonjun Jung. I'm from Korea. I graduated Hongik University.
Awesome, yeah. And we have your work up here that you submitted to the Adobe Design Achievement Awards. And if you maybe want to talk a little bit about your piece.
Okay. This particular project conversation is a journey that begins from concerns of acquaintance, eventually finding oneself in the process.
Hello, Wonjun.
Okay.
How are you?
Fine.
Get your mic up a little bit. There you go. So, thank you.
In the photographs, the space becomes the world where one encounters the other, and the clothes tossed into the air becomes the medium that draws out one's relationship with other as unsubstantial light flashed into space. Actually, when the visage materialists want the aimlessly tossed clothes, and one's act of capturing the moment signify one's conversation with the other. One finds one's essence through other, not just an illusion of light, but as a real extent materialized on a white clothes.
Nice, yeah.
Sorry.
No, this is beautiful work. Yeah, it's interesting because you actually had these flags,
Yes,
right? And then how did you actually capture these shots?
I using in project.
A big projector?
Yes.
Yeah. So you were actually throwing this flag up, projecting onto them, and then photographing to capture the work? What inspired you to create this?
I don't know. Just clothes is flying and yes.
Yeah, because it looks it's so beautiful, and I was reading a bit about sort of how you were you have this tossed cloth and you were capturing a moment of this conversation, right? And I think that you see a lot of that, and that's the title of the piece is conversation, right, between all of this. It's really beautiful. So how did you pick where you decided to take these shots? And
yes, that people is my friends.
Oh, the people actually on that are being projected?
Yeah, my friends. I take a photo as friends, and so my friends have a story of that location.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yes. So I picked that.
So you picked the location based off of the person that you were projecting onto the cloth.
Yes.
Oh, that's so interesting. These are beautiful. So how did you get into, did you take the shots yourself, or who was throwing up the cloth? How did that actually work?
I take a camera and my friends toss the clothes.
They would throw
and
it?
And he high.
You would have to get out of the shot?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't see anyone here at all.
Its camera's angle,
Okay, you had to pick the right angle here.
Yes.
Interesting. Do you have any stories about these people that that really stuck out to you that you wanted to tell, or?
I explain, his story is related to mountain, so.
And I think there's an interesting question here also on the chat of people are wondering, so how do you get the sheet in the air, like in the correct position, right? Like, so there's these beautiful different positions that you're getting with the sheet. Did you know how you want that to end up, or?
No, I deal many times it's close and I choose that one.
You choose that. Oh, so you did it a lot, multiple times to get the right shot.
Yeah.
How many times would it take to maybe get one of these until you were happy?
I won't get one pictures. I take a photo of 1,000. 1,000?
Yes. Okay. Wow, awesome. Yeah, look, awesome work. Really like it. Years memorizing. It's like a story. Thank you guys on the chat. Let's see. So what do you want people, do you have anything you want people to take away from seeing your work? People who are viewing it, is there anything that you wanted other people to see from the work that you made? Maybe just, is it the story that you have of like these people and the locations, or?
But that picture is not saying story, but I think that actually I want people wondering that this location relates
the relationship
people and I want people wondering that.
Yeah, I want them to wonder between the relationship of the location and the people on the projection. Interesting. Had you done anything similar to this type of work before?
Yes. It's my PS. Just I not project is through close that work.
Okay. Yeah.
Yes, my first time I test my work on my PS.
Okay. And so to answer someone's question again of how you got the pictures of the people on the sheets, you were using a projector, right? So was it clear, like how clearly did you actually see these images on the sheets, or did you have to do any like post editing on the photos?
No, I using sunset and sunrise.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you really relied on the timing of the day to get the projector to shoot correctly?
I only have 20 minutes.
You only had 20 minutes?
Yeah. It's one day.
So you shot all of these in one day, or?
No.
Oh, you only, and so in the time of when the sun sets and the sun rises, you only have so much time to capture these shots. Interesting. Did you ever have to like go back out and take another one, like for this first image here you have?
Yes.
Yeah, you had to go out multiple days to get that shot, right? That's awesome. Cool. Let's see, what else can you tell us about your photography? Do you have any other like photography work that you're working on right now or coming up? Any projects?
I take a photo on other projects related to boredom.
Boredom?
Yes.
Okay.
Using blanket and people, someone blanket is through and it's workout is street.
Cool. Okay. So that's what you're working on right now.
Yeah.
Is a new,
yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so do you feel like your work you're generally using with like physical objects?
Physical objects?
Yeah, with like sheets and things like that?
Yes.
Yeah. Constantly. Awesome. Well, thanks for joining us on the stream. Really appreciate talking about your work. Beautiful work. Thank you.
Thank you.
Awesome. Cool. So we have another Adobe Design Achievement Award winner coming up next. So awesome. Thank you for joining us. I'll go ahead and take this off. Thank you. Cool. You ready? Almost, I think.
That's the camera?
Good. Yeah, awesome. Okay, so welcome to the stream. Do you want to introduce yourself, your name, and a little bit about yourself?
Sure. So my name is Dave Ethan Valadares. Where am I looking into?
Camera's over there.
Oh, there,
yeah,
right.
You're good.
My name is Dave Ethan Valadares, and I'm from Mumbai. I just graduated from Srishti Institute of Art, Design and Technology in Bangalore. And yeah, I'm here. I won this competition. And
yeah. What category was it that your work was
so my
selected
project,
for?
my project Typographic won the fine art graphic design category, graphic design within fine art.
Okay.
So yeah.
Awesome. So why don't we go ahead and take a look through some of your work?
Do this,
and,
yeah. So the name of my project is Typographic, and it's essentially an intersection between graphic design and biology, or more specifically typography and the genetic code.
Is it a presentation?
Yeah, it's a.
Okay.
Well,
is it okay if you look at like this?
Sure.
Perfect.
Is it black? Yeah, sorry. Because it became red.
Oh.
We don't know why.
Crazy.
Okay, yeah. So typography and the genetic code, and I mean I a little bit about it. So the project began. It was my seventh semester project, and it began as a. It was a class based on biology, and the first thing like I asked myself is what is the meaning of life, and
it's a pretty big question to
it
ask
was,
yourself.
It was, but yeah. So the course is called Living Visual, and I questioned what does it really mean to be living? What does it mean to be alive? And what makes us alive? You know, biologically speaking.
Yep.
And I actually found the answer. And it was.
You found the answer to the meaning
I found
of life.
the answer. Yeah,
Wow.
I mean, what I think was the answer, and this project's done a long time ago, so I'm forgetting. But yeah, it's basically this thing in each and every one of our cells called deoxyribonucleic acid, but we know it better as DNA. And yeah, biologically speaking, this actually fulfilled all the criteria, you know, for it to be like the origin of life and all of that. So a little bit about DNA. So 3 billion years ago, when life first originated on Earth, DNA existed back then. You know, in the simple unicellular creatures, DNA existed back then, and ever since, from those simple organisms all the way to right now, as complex beings, DNA has been around ever since. It's and how it's done, gone from simple to complex, is it basically mutations in the genetic code. And that's got us through from where we were to where we are, and it's present in every single living organism, from cucumbers to cockroaches, from you and me to a banyan tree, mosquitoes and viruses. Every single thing has DNA in it.
So you did all of this research and all of this before you jumped into any designs or anything on your project?
Yeah. It was like two months of research. I've simplified it.
2 months of research.
2
wow.
months of
okay.
research. Yeah. And so when you think of DNA, you think of the double helix structure, right? The spiral ladder. But what it actually consists of is just 4 bases, 4 chemicals that called adenine, thymine, guanine, and cytosine. But you can simplify it to ACGNT. And how it works is it works in code. So the rungs on the spiral ladder of our DNA are actually just combinations in sequences of these 4 chemicals, and it's essentially the code of life, because this is a snippet of how it looks. It's just our genetic code is just the sequences of 4 letters.
So now I'm seeing sort of
you're seeing a snippet of our actual
of
genetic
how you got
code.
and how you got sort of the letters that you're starting to base your project off of.
Yeah.
Okay.
So and I found this amazing. This code is responsible for everything you are, for the color of your eyes, the color of your skin, the size of your toenails, your heart, your organs. Everything about you physically is because this code is arranged in this way. And I found that amazing. I thought that these 4 letters, just an A, a G, a C and a T, this combination creates, it makes you everything you are.
So how did, when you went from, you had all this research, I mean this is insane, this is, I mean I don't know if I would have done 2 months of research on this. how did you even get interested in some of this, like all this biology? I mean, what are you studying?
All right, so I'm a graphic designer.
You're graphic design.
This is
but
what,
where did your interest come into
so
this?
again, the course was themed on biology.
Okay.
And I just found myself really interested in DNA and the whole genetic code and just how
Awesome.
how beautiful, how simple it was. All these differences between us, it just comes down to the arrangement of 4 letters in our genetics.
So you've done this research. You now have this beautiful code and the 4 letters that make up who we are. And where do you go from there?
Yeah, let's see.
Yeah.
So
Here we go. We're about to find out.
Yeah. So this is my concept that if nature can communicate with just 4 letters, if nature can create all of this beauty, all of this variety, all of this with just 4 letters arranged in different ways, why can't I? Can I also communicate with using just 4 letters?
Yeah.
And that's typographics, the manifestation of this this inorganic, rigid code into this beauty and fluidity of life. And okay, so my project during my exhibition, I repurposed this keyboard to just have the 4 letters, so an A, a C, a G, and a T. And typographic is a set of 2 typefaces. So typographic 1 is so it's an actual working typeface. So
you designed the actual letters here, and then now you have an actual editable
typeface, a working
typeface.
typeface. Yeah.
Awesome.
So how it works is if I type G, it's a very basic simple G. But if I type G again, it mutates and it evolves. And
interesting.
I'm
Wow. So
going
you have
on
all
and on.
these
So,
variations.
Yeah. So every time I type G, it's moving from simple to complex. And I'm sort of talking about the same way from evolution. I mean, through evolution, we reached from these simple organisms to complex beings. I'm doing the same thing through letters and through type. And so this is a G, and if I type A, again a very simple A, but I type A again, and
so there's the spectrum of, and you're just pressing sort of a hotkey to go through them.
Yeah.
So it's always simple.
I'm typing on this is Illustrator.
Just the same letter over and over again.
Yeah. And the same thing with the C, and the same thing with the T. So I'm moving from a simple T to probably like a more complex T.
That's awesome. So how did you actually end up designing and figuring out the forms that you wanted these shapes to take?
So what this really was this is just process. This is just process for the second part, the second typeface that I'm about to show you.
Yeah. So this is just the first one.
Let me show you. Yeah, this is just the first one. So this was a bit of the code. So I mean, this is how it worked. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, it's a bit inefficient, but I got it done. And can I zoom in?
So this is your process?
This is my process. So I started simple and I just started making variations.
Yeah, it's funny. Someone said it's kind of like hieroglyphics, and I even see you have some like symbols. And shapes
I'll get to that.
I'll
get to that. Yeah. So just some more posters and this.
So you made all these posters off of the typefaces that you made.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And so now in typography 2, this is I'm trying to show. So the first one is talking about evolution, how we got from that here, and this one's talking about how important it is in actually determining our features. So say in your genetic code, if this is a part of your genetic code in say chromosome 15, just these 9 letters, they determine the color of your eyes. So can you imagine all this, again, these differences, it just boils down to the arrangement of 4 letters. And again, I found this beautiful.
So you found a different iteration here for your second typeface.
Yeah. So the second one talks about different ideas. So
can we take a look at what the second one is?
So how this works is
So quickly, why don't you walk us through just real quick on the second?
Okay, so if I type ACT, I get a black eye. It automatically substitutes from or if I go back and instead of ACT I type ACA, it's a different color. ACC, it's a different color. ACG.
So you now have symbols based off of the sequence of lettering that you have.
I'm talking about how different arrangements of this code actually manifest themselves into different features of us. So so same way a TAC becomes this, a TAG, TAA.
Super interesting. Well, I appreciate you coming on the stream. This was like beyond me, but but I started to get it a bit more when you started getting into the type. But beautiful work. Thank you for coming on.
Thank you so
appreciate
much.
it. Cool.
Yeah.
Why don't we take off your mic? Thanks, Dave. Perfect. Good.
Totally blank in my mind
Oh
right
no,
now.
no,
so-
you're good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'll probably just go quickly there through this
Yeah. Okay.
project.
So yeah, well, we're gonna welcome Joe here. We have another ADA winner. And so Joe, why don't you introduce yourself? Maybe just where you're from and a little bit about yourself.
Okay, hi everyone. My name is Ziying Wu, and it's a bit hard to pronounce my name, so you can just call me Joe. I'm from Taiwan, and I just graduated from National Taiwan University, the bachelor degrees.
Master's degree.
Yes.
Awesome. Cool. Do you have what's your background in design? Do you have any
No.
design? No design background.
No. Actually, I would just major in literature before.
Literature. Okay.
Yes.
So how did you get into doing? We're taking a look at your project here,
Yeah.
and you have this packaging design. How did you get into doing this packaging design?
So actually this is a thesis-based project. So I did some research at first, and then finished this creation. And just like I said before, I graduated I majored in literature before. So I would a bit like story or something like this, like emotional, appealing things. So it's very common to have the railway mailbox on the railway in Taiwan. So I'm just trying to combine the image of the city of the station and with their local food or some historical characteristics, something into the packaging design.
Into the packaging design.
Yes. And this is the first station. Oh, I choose 4 stations.
You chose 4 stations. Okay.
Yes, and I designed one for each. One mailbox for each station. And
So we're just taking a look at one of the
Yes.
ones that you did, but you actually have
Yes.
4 different versions.
yes.
Of
So this is the
Okay.
first one, and this is a place is famous for hot springs. Do you know hot springs?
No.
It's like natural resources.
Oh,
It's
yep.
just coming out hot waters underground.
Yep.
And so they are famous for the hot springs. So those food are just I don't know how to say that, but I just use the materials the food.
Okay. The food,
It's
yeah.
also from local food, local agricultural food. So I just make it like this, and it's like a scenic spot for vacation. So I try to design it like a souvenir,
Oh, interesting. Okay, like a little takeaway souvenir that people can take.
so people could unfold the paper and then have it on the railway. It's like a table paper.
Nice.
And
yeah.
that there is some introduction of that station, the area, so people can have that and
Yeah,
have
so what are we
more
looking at on the actual design of the box itself?
Yes.
So you said you have you have a landscape,
landscape.
of the actual place that you have that
Yes.
mailbox. And then what else is sort of on it that you have on the outside, and then what did you also put sort of on the inside?
Yes. And also, I think because the food or the case itself, it depends on how I do the packaging. So that's why it's different. It's varies from every station. Like this space, this area is a bit like square. So that's why I choose the shape.
Okay, so you chose the shape of the packaging based on the
Yes.
location.
Yes.
What were can you talk through some of the other shapes you had then, or
Yeah.
and the other locations?
Yes. So I keep following it, and there is another station. Oh, here's my exhibition for this.
The full exhibition for
Yes.
this piece. Nice.
And here's another station in Yilan.
And so
It's
why
an
did you choose
ancient-
this shape? Yeah.
It's an ancient town before, and it's surrounded by rivers. So it's a round circle. So that's why I choose the shape.
That's what you chose. Awesome.
Yes.
And then what about the food? This is the food basically of that area?
Yes.
Is that correct? So did you do the
All the
illustration?
illustrations.
You did all the illustration
Yeah.
yourself? What did you use to illustrate?
Oh, I hand drawing first.
Hand draw? Okay.
Yeah, I draw some like famous scenic spot. Like
Keep going.
yeah, and just just use Illustrator.
Okay, so you
And
would
arrange
draw
them.
everything 1st, and then you brought it into Illustrator.
Yes.
And then traced it there
Uh-huh.
with your designs. So how many times when you printed this to actually get what you wanted, how did that work to get like the shapes and everything, right, that you wanted for your packaging?
Yes. Actually, I did it in very short time because I don't have that much time for graduation. I need to meet the deadline.
You had your deadline, all right.
Yes.
We've all been there.
Yes, actually, I did a research first, and that I think it lasts for 3 months. 3 months for research and 1.5 months for all the design.
So we have a question from the chat here.
Oh.
Someone is wondering, Deborah's wondering, what motivated you to enter the contest?
Enter the contest.
To enter ADAA.
Oh, enter the contest.
What motivated you to submit this work?
Oh, actually, I submitted last year, and it was selected as semi-finalist.
Oh, nice.
Also,
okay.
it's like a very, very good encouragement and recognition to me. So I want to try it again.
Try it. Yeah. What was your work last year that you submitted?
Last year, it's a illustration.
Okay.
Illustration work as a poster. Format is for poster. And this time, actually, I enrolled more artwork this time, and luckily, I think our 4 pieces was selected as semi-finalist, and this one is even luckier to be the winner.
Yes, that was really good. And did you use anything other than Illustrator? Is it only Illustrator?
Yeah, only Illustrator.
Only Illustrator. Yes. Okay.
And this is another one. And actually, I did it 4 level of revolution or creation. Like this is more traditional one because I use like official mailbox, but I just change it a little bit.
Right, you just
I
have
cover
sort of
it,
the
yeah, wrapping
over it.
Yes.
And this is that final third
Yes,
piece.
that's the
and
final
then
one. This is one of the most latest one because this place is very big and huge, but there are only 3 major like city downtown. I'm not really sure how to say it.
Yep.
3 points. So I try to use this like a triangle thing.
So you took the fact that the town only had 3 major areas,
Yes.
and then took that 3 into the shape
like
of a triangle.
And it's famous for the fresh milk toast, fresh milk bread. So that's why I make it a sandwich. And there are a lot of fish over there.
Yeah.
So I make it
Yeah, I
a
see
fish
this
sandwich.
fish illustration. You have what, octopus, and
Yes.
what else is on this specific illustration?
And they're famous because it's like a fishing town. So we have some traditional face, matsu, like a Buddha, like religion. It's a religion.
Yep.
Yeah, so I just put everything on it and use a triangle thing to protect the sandwich.
Okay. Did you have to try this out a couple times? I see you have your inside shape, and then you have like the sleeve that you're pulling off. Did it take a couple times to get that right, or
just once?
just once? Oh, you were good to go. Awesome.
I tried once. I printed it out, and I found out I should put it smaller in the inside case, so it'll be easier to print it out. Yes, and I put the real things in it, and it works.
Nice. That's
pretty lucky, I think.
I feel like normally sometimes with some of this packaging design, it's a lot of trial and error. Like
oh, yeah,
you have your design and you want it to be on a certain shape and size, but it's hard to necessarily print it out.
Oh, but because I measured the bread before.
Oh, you measured. So you measured the food.
Yeah.
To get the dimensions that you wanted to print everything.
Yes.
Awesome.
Because I want the local food first.
Okay. It was all about the sourcing and where you were getting it from. Well, this is beautiful work. I appreciate you coming onto the stream. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you to be interviewed.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Great.
So are they coming off?
Yes. I want to take care.
Oh, God.
Great. Thank you. Thank you. Awesome.
So
great.
I'm super stressed.
Oh no, don't be stressed. Why don't you introduce yourself to the stream? Another ADAA winner. Go ahead.
There is camera. Okay.
Yeah.
My name is Jola Bańkowska. I'm a student from Poland. I study graphic design at Academy of Fine Arts in Warsaw. I'm animation director and also illustrator, and I won the illustration category, like fine arts category.
Fine arts illustration.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
So,
So yeah, do you want to walk us through a little bit of your work and what
No.
you ended up making here? No, you're not here for that.
I don't show you my works.
Doing something.
Some technical changes.
Okay. All right.
Great.
Okay, so my work is a screen printed poster,
Okay.
and it's a poster for my upcoming film, like animated film.
Oh, you have an animated film as
Yeah,
well.
so this is a kind of poster for this project, and and this is my reflection about the using of social media and the modern world a little bit, because I'm in general I'm interested in modern society in my works.
Mm-hmm.
Like I like to observe some tendencies, some patterns in our behaviors, and this is one of my reflection about this, like how much we use our phones, like mobile phones, or how much we use social media, and this all stuff about this fear of missing out, about sharing stuff, and like how we create each other on social media. And so I made a poster about this, about being in a present sometimes, like not using phone. So
What was your process for making this poster?
what's the process? I started on paper. So I made pencil sketches because I like the handmade works. Like I have a traditional background, so
Love the style of your people, your illustration style.
Yeah, so I started on paper, then I go to the Photoshop, and I made the colors in Photoshop, and then
You did all the coloring in Photoshop afterwards?
Yeah,
is
yeah,
that
yeah.
right? Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
I sometimes use acrylics in my works. Like I start to, in my sketchbook, I use the acrylic paints. Like I like to have this handmade style. So sometimes I use the normal paintings, like brushes and so on. But in this project, it was also only Photoshop. So.
Okay. And when you're in your sketchbook, when it's just black and white, are you using like pencil, pen? Like what do you? What
in
medium?
my sketchbooks?
Yeah, in your sketchbooks.
It's like pencil and acrylics mostly. Yeah. So this is the whole project.
The selfie stick.
Yeah, the idea is that like every person make a selfie, and that's the only boy, like the boy just playing with the dog, like only he's in the moment and don't use a phone.
I like that. It's funny because
That's
the
neat.
whole piece is around, right, like social media and how we're consuming it and sort of creating our own bubble around
Yeah, I'm really
ourselves.
interested in this. For example, yesterday we had a concert on Adobe Max,
Yep.
and it was so great. I loved the music, I loved the concert, and I didn't use my phone like a few hours. And for me, it's like a determination that it was really great evening. That I didn't check my Instagram. I didn't.
Yep.
I don't know.
We can get
I was
so
on the moment.
attached, yeah.
Yeah. So it's. I don't know. I just have some thoughts about this.
So are these just individual shots of some of the people within that one poster? I love this GIF right here. So it's funny because I actually saw your work the first time I saw it was on social media, and it's about social media.
Yeah, sure.
But yeah, I first saw it. I think it was posted somewhere on Twitter, and I ended up seeing
Okay.
it. But
Yeah, so this is the process. Like when you make a screen printing something, like you screen print something, like you need to make the layers of each color,
Yep.
and then you start from the brightest, and at the end is the darkest. Like, so the last color was the black one. Like you have a layers.
so how many layers was yours that you had to?
It was 8 or
8
7.
layers.
8, yeah.
8 layers.
So yeah, and it was like this size.
Okay, so this is, yeah,
Yeah.
the round, pretty,
This is
pretty
me.
large.
No face.
This
No
is-
selfie. No selfie.
That's you. That's awesome.
I have some. Okay. Do you have any questions?
I do have questions, yes. I mean, what do you want people to take away from your piece, seeing your piece?
Could you repeat?
Yeah, what do you want people, when they see your work, to take away from it?
Okay.
It's a tough question.
I don't know. I think it's no. I just I can show you my things from my movie because it's posted
Right,
for
you
a
said
movie.
it's for your movie.
Yeah, and it's like oh, sorry.
No
One
worries.
problem. Okay, here. So I'm working on a film now, and it's very similar to this topic. And in my works, I really want to create a people who are like which we can like feel like those people. Like for example, my film is about different people in one city who like have who feel lonely a bit and feel lost a bit in a modern world. Like if you I don't know. I really like technology in the future and about like I'm really excited about new technologies.
Mm-hmm.
But on the other side, there is the second side of this. Like sometimes we feel a bit overwhelmed by those social media and like I don't know, like we always share the good stuff and I don't know. Sorry, I'm a bit messy.
No, yeah,
in my
no,
talk.
this is great to see. So this is the film. So did you do? It's an animation?
Yes, it's short animated film. It's about 5 minutes.
So did you animate this, or do like the illustration work, or?
I make like the whole process. Like I make like illustration, animation, and so on. So it will be finished soon. So I'm I just live with this film. That's why I talk about this now. Maybe because I'm work on this now. So yeah.
Interesting. So you made this poster before. So how far were you in the film before you decided to make a poster, and how did you decide that you wanted to make a poster for the film?
I just want to make something on the side, like because if you make animated short film, it's a long process, and sometimes you need to make something like on the side, like something a bit different. So I decided to make a poster. It was also part of the mentorship, like Adobe mentorship program. Yeah, because the previous year I was a winner in animation.
So you submitted as well a previous year.
Yeah.
And what was it that you submitted the year before?
It was animated short film.
It was an animated short film. Okay. So then you had a mentorship from Adobe.
I had a mentorship from you, Adobe.
Yeah.
And I made this poster with my mentor.
With your mentor?
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. So what was the feedback process like? I mean, what would you do, and how was it working with a mentor?
Okay, so my mentor was Bartosz Kosowski. He's an illustrator from Poland. Mm-hmm. He's a great illustrator, so I really like his works. And we met 5 times, and we met 5 times, and he gave me some feedback about this work. So I'm really grateful for his feedback, and yeah.
That's awesome. Beautiful poster, beautiful style.
Yeah.
Thanks for sharing also your film. I hope you wrap it up soon because I'm excited to see your film as well, and hopefully you'll share it. Are you going to share it on Behance when you're done, or
so we can all see it? Vimeo. It's Vimeo is
I don't even want to hear that. No, I'm just kidding.
No, it will be on Behance too. Okay.
It'll be on Behance too.
I'm sorry.
Awesome.
Yeah, it will be on Behance. Yeah.
Cool. Well, thanks for joining us on the stream. I appreciate it. And we will have another Adobe Design Achievement Award winner coming up.
Okay, nice.
Also, thank you. I'll be on plug. Yeah, there it was.
Like, wow, where are they from?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, cool, because it's a range, such a big range, right,
Yeah,
where everyone is from. Yeah, getting the mic support.
I feel like I'm a native.
Yeah, sometimes it gets a little shaky up here, and I keep thinking that we're all going down. Like I'm like, we're so high
even
up.
on the ground, it was like kind of. I was feeling quite. I don't know if I was feeling hurt. I was like, this
You
hurt.
did?
Yeah.
Okay, now I'm like, maybe
But
I
it
should
might be
check.
just because the flooring,
Oh, we're
people are
good?
walking
Okay.
on it. I feel it. I just felt it again.
Okay, well, we're back on live. Cool. So I have with me now Denzel and Tyler, and they're going to talk a bit about their piece. So you're both, we have Adobe Design Achievement Award winner and also Sundance Ignite Fellow, right? So why don't you guys talk a little bit about, introduce yourselves and about your piece and your work?
Yes.
Yeah.
So my name is Denzel, Denzel Boyd from Richmond, Virginia. So with the Adobe Design Achievement Awards, I submitted a project titled Forgotten News, Forgotten Names. Do you want me to pull it up or anything?
Yeah,
Okay.
that'd be great. If you could
Yeah.
pull it up.
Pull on Behance. And this Forgotten News, Forgotten Names project was born out of a short film that we both co-directed. It's been an amazing journey to see it grow. So here's the research team that I collaborated with my student peers. At the time, I was attending Virginia Commonwealth University back in Richmond, Virginia, and I collaborated with another collaboration team that ranged from designers to art education students, as well as photographers. So I really kind of built a team to help really see this through a series of events that are documented through these videos. That includes motion graphics, very type heavy, and as well as performance.
And so you're a designer, is that right? And then Tyler, what about yourself?
Yeah. So I'm a filmmaker, producer, director, editor, co-director, all
Every
kinds
title
of
there
whatever
is,
you gotta
yeah.
do. I guess content creator, whatever. Whatever makes most sense to you. But yeah, so Denzel and I, as well as our we had actually 3 directors on this project. Joseph Webb, who also stars in the film.
Yep.
We came together and created this piece.
So can you guys talk about kind of your collaboration and how you guys met to even come together to make this piece?
So we actually met through the National Young Arts Foundation in honor of and in celebration of their 35th anniversary. They had a grant where they were commissioning some of their alumni of their program. They recognize and assist young artists in the design, visual, literary art, any kind of art you could possibly imagine, and help you at these critical junctures in your life. And it's all about spirit of collaboration. Really incredible organization if you want to pull up the website there. And they even have a link about this exact grant. So they brought us together, and they basically we were prompted with this idea of, we want you to make a film addressing this theme of transformation, which is an important aspect, an important word to just their mission. And they were like, we're curious to see what you come up with. You kind of it was kind of a dream. Like, it's not often that you can get a grant like that where they're like, go out and make what you want to make and see what you come up with. And sort of the twist to it was that they had also said, you're all going to direct this film. It's going to be collaborative. And I came in as primarily the filmmaker who could bring in the production experience and ideas of equipment and logistics and all of that. But then also they wanted to see what could happen if you made it interdisciplinary, where we had a designer, a spoken word artist and dancer with an interest in film and design, and seeing how that could all fuse together and make something.
So what was your process of figuring out the vision for this piece, especially when you have 3 different people in 3 different mediums, right, who like your specialty areas around this topic of transformation?
Yeah, I think one of the main things was, so we didn't meet each other, but we're all not...
You never met in person?
No. But during the process.
During the process, yeah.
The process entailed sending each other images, word, and sound. And that was all done through emails, exchanges, as well as Google Chat. So technology really helped send each other things quickly because we're all very busy people, so that was the method which worked for us.
Awesome. So do you want to talk a little bit about the piece itself? I think it's awesome because this was part of in the reel, right, at the main stage.
It was, yeah.
Yeah, yes. At this conference at Max, on the main stage, there was a reel, and your video was on the main stage in front of, 12,000 people? So how did that feel?
Very surreal,
awesome?
seeing as this started as just such a small idea. We actually, here, I'll take you through on my computer here a little bit of how this came to be. So when we had to come up with an idea for this grant and how we were going to collaborate, it actually was the week in 2016 in the summer when Philando Castile died, when he was shot and killed in his car, and when the nation was reacting to that, when we were reacting to that and figuring out what to do or how we might address that through art. It was definitely on our minds when trying to come up with our concept, and we're all very passionate about social impact through our art. And so I happened to come across one night this video on Facebook that went viral online of these kids tap dancing in the street with wood on a wooden board, and they were dancing to this song, and it was just so powerful, such a powerful form of like protest and activation, I guess. And the song is by Janelle Monáe and Wonderland Records, and it's all of these voices chanting, saying the names of all of the different names of people who died over the last few years, shot and killed unarmed by police. And anyways, when I saw this video, I sent it to Denzel and Joseph, and I was like, hey, is it me, or are we about to fly across the country to Seattle right now and work with these kids? Because there was something so striking about the way that they were taking everything they were feeling and channeling it into their art and creating this social impact, even just through this viral Facebook video someone took on their shaky little iPhone. And we were trying to figure out, okay, how can we elevate this into an experience that could be online and offline and really just take the heart of everything they were saying and doing, and this perspective, this beautiful perspective of these kids commenting on the fact that they're seeing, feeling, processing everything happening, and what can we bring to the table to further amplify voices we thought were really important. So based on that, then we started getting into, well, how does this happen, and figuring out what the film could look like, and the programming beyond that.
Yeah, it was amazing.
That's awesome. So maybe walk me through a little bit more of maybe the process, and once you actually have this idea and you're starting to roll, what was sort of next for you guys?
Well, back to your question in terms of more the depth process. So for me as a designer, it just made sense. I was like, wow, we have Joseph Webb, a talented performer and tap dancer. Like, tap dancing is such a specific movement that fell right in line with the video. I was like, this is perfect. And then using his skill set as a technical producer was like perfect. When I started to design, I just had a lot of these images of like flags and other ways and forms of protest. So I really wanted to redefine what protest could look like, but also in a film. So I do have some like images, the very first images of how I organized, and so I sent these images to them because I like mocked up different, I guess maybe mood boards of certain things that I was looking at and inspired by just through my daily task of, I guess, visual research that's very intuitive. So I'm always looking at something on the web, which is awesome, and I just kind of curate and organize it in lists. Visual lists, like Pinterest and stuff like that, but also I write on my notes, like I remember this image, and I know exactly when I'm communicating, I know exactly what to pinpoint and kind of map it out.
So did you settle on the typography and the sort of consistent, the little, I don't even know how to explain the other little accents you have in the design?
Yeah, in terms of the design of the actual, I wonder if I have, let's see. So you're referring to this?
Yeah.
So
talk about that.
Yeah, so those accents, I was really looking at other ways of memorizing, I guess, names, like the Vietnam Memorial in the separation of those names. In graphic design, typography is critical in terms of communicating a space between letter forms and stuff like that. So when I was thinking about the content, typographic content, I was told by my peers, like, you got to be very critical of those associations of communicating and immortalizing those names.
Right, because this is pretty key in also, I feel like, the main backdrop, right, in the film.
Yeah, so that was a big part of when we were figuring out what we can create together. We wanted to just figure out, okay, so we're trying to take this dance and trying to turn it into an experience and something that kept coming up where all of the names being mentioned. And so a big part was having this centerpiece of Denzel creating this floor-to-ceiling banner that has all of these names hand-printed and memorialized. And so you can see, you know, it just goes on and on and on, and that was really the point of it, right, Denzel?
Yes, this long list and exaggerating that. Well, it was really not exaggerated. I had to bring all this content together.
It's awesome to see like the collaboration that you guys did, and it's interesting to hear sort of the story of how you guys had to work from all across the country, right? Like, or like from the U.S. and like all over to like figure out how to make this thing come together.
We're fortunate now with the technology to be able to, you know, it doesn't even distance doesn't matter anymore.
Yeah.
So nice.
Yeah, but and I felt like I already knew them, but yeah.
Awesome. Well, thanks for coming on. We're going to close out the stream now, so thanks for
I do want to shout out
in.
Esther Park. She's the one who started the Transformation Film Project. Well, been kind of spearheading that in terms of the alumni program and bringing us together, because that kind of like was kind of the glue that kind of transferred. So.
Great. Well, thank you guys.
So much.
Thanks everyone.
Thank you. Sweet. Cool.
Okay. Thank you guys.